Today I'm going to be taking a look at another Arch-based Linux distribution. I know, but this one's different, I promise. Today I'm taking a look at Artix Linux. Artix is an Arch-based Linux distribution that does not use the systemd init system. In fact, that is Artix's defining feature. That is what is mentioned predominantly all over their website, is the fact that they hate systemd, that PID1 is so important they refuse to put it in the hands of systemd. They are just completely anti-systemd. So they offer two versions of Artix, one with OpenRC as the init system and one with Runit as the init system. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Artix LXQt edition with Runit as the init system. Let's check it out. So I'm going to download Artix LXQt with Runit. The ISO size is 814 megs. Let's take a look at the Artix website. For those of you that are interested, artixlinux.org, and I mentioned the fact that the defining feature of this distro kind of concerns me, because the only thing really the website loves to talk about is how it's systemd free, how they hate systemd, systemd is evil. I mean, look at that header at the top of the page. Simple, fast, systemd free. That's how you define your Linux distro. It's all about defining your distro around hate. Hating some other piece of software you don't use. I don't see why that's something you would want to do with your distro. I mean, you can still use OpenRC or Runit, but why are you throwing all this hate towards systemd on your website? It doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure why they're taking the time or energy to do that. Anyway, Artix Linux is a rolling release distribution based on Arch. It uses OpenRC or Runit as its init because PID1 is too important to be trusted in systemd. Anyway, they recently released two new LXQt ISOs, one with OpenRC and one with Runit. They're available over at SourceForge. I've already pulled down the LXQt edition with Runit, and that's what I'm going to install in VirtualBox today. Alright, so I've got the ISO downloaded, and I've created a new virtual machine here in VirtualBox. I gave this virtual machine 2 cores of my 6-core CPU, and I gave this virtual machine 4 gigs of RAM. Anyway, this is the boot screen. We have options for changing time zone, key table, language. Are we booting from CD, DVD, ISO, or are we booting from a stick or a hard disk drive? We also have the options of a memtest, and of course we can reboot the machine. I am just going to go ahead and choose from CD/DVD/ISO. And hopefully this should boot off the ISO. Boot us directly into a live environment where hopefully I can find some sort of installer. I'm not sure. I don't really know anything about Artix. I don't know what kind of install process this will entail. I don't know if they have a graphical installer, an ncurses installer. Maybe it's all done in the command line. Maybe something like mainline Arch. I have no idea. I do not know anything about Artix. So this will very much be a first look and first impression kind of review. So let's see if we actually have some guest editions on the live image. It looks like it will resize. Great job. Being Arch based, of course, it's going to have the latest kernel. I believe the VirtualBox guest editions now are baked into the new kernels, so I don't have to fight with the VirtualBox guest editions. Let's see if I can find some kind of installer. So maybe under System Tools. Yep, Install System. And let's see, identity, Unix user, Artix, and then password. I have no idea what the password's going to be. I probably need to be root, though, to run the installer, so would root be the password by any chance? Nope. Okay, let me go back and let me try. The user looks like it's Artix. Let's see if the password is also Artix. I hope this is right. If not, I'm going to have to go dig through their website and find what is the password for the live user. It looks like it's Artix. So the username is Artix, the password is Artix. Alright, and they're using the Calamares installer, very familiar installer. So this should be very quick and simple. Before I get started though, since the VirtualBox guest editions are working, I'm going to go ahead and make this thing a full 1920 by 1080 screen resolution. Alright. So language, American English has been chosen for us. That's correct. I'm going to click next. They've correctly picked the central time zone in the US for me. All right. English US for the keyboard is correct. All right. What do I want to do? Do I want to erase the entire disk and give Artix the entire virtual hard drive of this virtual machine? That is what I want to do. If I wanted to manually set up my partitions, I could choose manual partitioning, but I'm going to let Artix do the automatic partitioning. What is your name? For this VM, I'll call myself DT. Then I need to choose a strong and complicated password for the user DT. Alright, do I want to log in automatically without asking for a password? No, I chose that strong and complicated password, so I would actually have to type it in, for privacy reasons. So I do not want to be automatically logged in. I want to type a password. Right, do we want to use the same password for the administrator account? So is the DT password going to be the same password for the sudoers account? Yes. If you wanted them to be different, you tick this off, and then you choose a different password for your super user. But for me, I'm just going to have them be the same password. That way I don't have to remember two different passwords. Alright, summary. Location's good, keyboard's good, the partition scheme looks good. Click install. And away we go. On most modern Linux distributions these days, this portion of the installer usually takes between 5 and 10 minutes, so I'm going to pause the video while the installation completes. Alright, and the installation is complete, and I will say, the installation was unbelievably fast. That portion where I paused the video, where the Calamaris installer, started, and, from 0 to 100% here, 3 minutes. I mean, it's crazy how fast this was. Anyway, it says all done. I need to tick this box here to restart now. Anytime you install a new operating system, you always have to reboot the machine to complete installation, and that's what I'm going to do right now. Alright, and I have restarted the VM, and this is my freshly installed Artix Linux. Let's see how long boot up time takes. Again, we're using the Runit init system. So let's see how fast it boots up. Got to a login manager very fast, just a few seconds. So let me type in my username and password and log in to the LXQt desktop environment. Alright, screen resolution. You know what, the screen resolution looks a little off. I don't know if you guys can tell, but that is not quite 1920 by 1080. It's coming up a little short all around the edges, and I'm not quite sure why. I'm not sure if it's something I want to fool with or not. I may just run with it. It's close enough to being full size. I don't want to play with it. Anyway, I notice on the desktop I have this folder here called instructions. Let's open this. And we have HTML files. We have a HTML file for the Artix Wiki configuration, Artix Wiki installation. Well, I don't need the installation. We already got it installed. We have a Artix Wiki concerning the OpenRC init system, if we were using that. The Artix Wiki using the Runit init system. So I know nothing about the Runit init system, so I would have to read this particular page if I wanted to figure out what Runit was all about. And it gives me, all the Runit services, the programs you use for Runit, SV, chipset, run SV, SV log D, and various other things. It tells me where everything is stored in the directory system as far as Runit. Runit does not store anything in /var/service, for example. It stores everything in /run/runit/service. So things are a little different in Runit than, other init systems you may or may not be used to. I'm not going to play with Runit today. Anyway, as long as my init system works, as long as my machine boots up, I'm pretty happy with any init system, whether it be Runit, OpenRC, systemd, sysv, the old upstart init system, any of them. As long as the machine works, I'm good. Alright, let's see what is installed by default on Artix LXQt. So, not much here. Under accessories, we have kwrite, I guess for some kind of a text editor here. So, about kwrite is a text editor. This is version 18.08.1. And it makes sense to have some KDE apps, as long as they don't have too many KDE dependencies, because KDE uses the LXQt, or not the LX, the Qt toolkit. And obviously we're using the LXQt desktop environment. We have PCman FM, their Qt version of PCMan FM. Really nice file manager, PCMan FM. My favorite, fast, lightweight, minimal file manager. I often use it on my OpenBox installs. By the way, LXQt uses OpenBox as its window manager, so that's another positive thing about LXQt that I love. I love OpenBox. They're using Xarchiver for an archive manager. The archive manager is for things like zip, unzip, tar, to unwrap any of those compressed file formats. Alright, under graphics we have LXimage for an image viewer, and we have Screenshot for a screenshot utility. Under internet we have Avahi. Falcon is our browser. That is an interesting choice. Falcon is a Qt app, so that makes sense. And we've already seen the Falcon browser a little bit in action because those Artix wiki pages opened up in Falcon. I really don't want to take a look at those. Let me take a look at something a little more normal. Let's see how something like, I don't know, Yahoo looks in Falcon. I've never really played with Falcon, to be honest, but looks like a pretty nice browser. They're using DuckDuckGo, it looks like, as their default search engine. Anyway, let's see about Falcon. We're using Falcon 3.0.1. It's using the Qt Web Engine version 5.11.2. And we can read more about it at falcon.org. I know a lot of people have been interested with that particular browser. I haven't played with it much. I probably should. I do a lot of distro hopping. I do a lot of window manager hopping. I don't do much web browser hopping. I pretty much have stuck with Firefox since Firefox first came out. That is the only browser I have used in, like almost 2 decades probably. Before that, Netscape, used Opera a little bit off and on way back in the day. No, I mean way back in the day, not any time recently. But I've never been a Chrome or Chromium user. Obviously, Internet Explorer or anything like that on Windows I don't use. So, all right. Also under Internet, we had HexChat for our IRC chat client, and it automatically connects to the Freenode network. Does it connect to some kind of support channel for Artix? It does. Very cool. I love distros that take the time to set that up for you because it makes it so easy for a new Linux user to get support when all they have to do is just open up the IRC chat client. Now, when I click the close button up here, it's asking me, do I want to quit or do I want to just minimize this to the system tray up here? I actually want to quit the program entirely. So I want to get this out. Yeah, make sure it's out of the system tray. I don't want it running in the background because I really don't plan on chatting with anybody in the Artix IRC channel. Under Office, all we have is our PDF viewer, QPDF view. Sound and video, we have nothing. We have a Qt V4L2, that is the Video for Linux utility. A neat little utility, especially for those of us like me that use webcams. But really, no audio player of any kind, no video player of any kind. That is unusual. System tools. The Qt terminal is our terminal emulator here, which is a really nice terminal emulator. So I really like the Qt terminal. If you're making a Qt desktop environment, it makes sense to use Qt terminal. Under preferences, we have our LXQt settings. So we have our configuration center here. Now, if I go back to the menu system here, under preferences, we have LXQt settings. You see all this stuff here? Under this submenu, it's the same icons you see here. So we have options for appearance. Let me click appearance. And this gives us, our widget style, our icon themes. We have the options of Windows for our widget style, which is this kind of old school Windows kind of theme, or Fusion, which is nicer. It's more bright. It's, kind of a light silvery color. I like that better. We have icons. The default icons are the really nice Breeze icon set, kind of the default KDE icon set. So I really like those. Adwaita is also on here. I would never use the Adwaita icon set. It is hideous to look at. For our themes, right now it's using KDE Plasma, which I really like that. But you have the options of the ambience theme, which should change it to the ambience colors of Ubuntu. We have dark, which is more of a black theme. Actually, it's got some transparency to it. That's not bad. I don't mind that. Frost is very black. We have light. Yeah, actually, I kind of like that one too. And then one called System. I'm going to go back to the default one, though. I think I like the default. And, of course, we can play with the fonts and also play with the cursor theme. All right, under Desktop, do we have options for wallpaper? We do. You guys know how much I love to play with wallpaper. I really like the kind of DNA spiral thing they have going here. That's not bad, but let's see what else they have. So usually the wallpapers are in user share backgrounds. So let me navigate to user share backgrounds. So if I go to the root file system, if I can get there. So user share backgrounds. I would like to actually be able to just type the path. I could get here quicker if they would let me type the path, but I actually had to navigate with the mouse. Anyway, we don't have really any options for wallpaper. That Artix Spiral, we have 3 different versions of that, I guess, for different screen resolutions. And then we have something called Artix Wallpaper. See what that one's about. Yeah, kind of simple, but you know what? That's not really a bad wallpaper. I kind of dig it. That's the same one. Yep. So really, we have the options of 2 different wallpapers. I'm going to go back to the DNA Spiral because honestly, I think that looks better. Yeah. Now, if I was going to use this, on my main production machine, as a daily driver, one of the things I would immediately want to do, I never like having panels at the top, mainly because I usually, have my taskbars, some kind of taskbar on it. They have this icon, I guess, taskbar. You see, this is actually the taskbar. But anyway, I'm used to having all of this on the bottom of the screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go click on the panel somewhere. Do I want to lock this panel? No. Is it unlocked? How do I unlock it? I want to move this panel. Is there a way? Yeah, configure panel. Okay, there it is. I can change the size. I can change alignment and position. The alignment's good, but I want it at the bottom, not at the right. Although that is interesting. I think I want it at the bottom. Yeah. Do I want to change the height? I can reduce it if I wanted it really small. I don't like it that small, though. 32 is actually pretty good pixel size. 30 works too. Icon size, we can adjust that. So you do have some options here for the panel. Of course, we can remove and add widgets. If I didn't like these, icon sort of, this icon taskbar, I could, make a proper kind of taskbar here, with the icon and then the program name next to it. So I might take the time actually to set that up right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click the panel. Let's see. Manage widgets. Let's manage our widgets. So if I go to plus, can I add a widget? Yeah. Let's add taskbar. Is there a or task manager? That's probably the one I want. Yeah. That looks like it, because now I have, icon with the program name next to it, and that should, minimize. Yeah, that's what I want. So I don't need it all the way to the right, though, so now I need to go over here and then click the up arrow buttons to get it exactly where I want it. I want it right there. And since I have that task manager, do I really need this task manager? No, I don't. All right. I think that works. Now when I open something, open the file manager, open the terminal, yeah, now you see I have my task manager here. I like it. Simple, straightforward. Now my right click menu. This thing uses OpenBox as its window manager. Do I want the desktop environment right click menu, which just has a couple of things, desktop preferences, and then I guess sorting icons on the desktop. I don't even use icons on the desktop, so I don't need any of this creating new folders, and I really don't need that in a menu system. I want the proper right click OpenBox menu. How do I get that? Well, if I click on desktop preferences and go to advanced, show menus provided by your window manager when the desktop is clicked. You tick that on, and in this case our window manager is OpenBox. Hit apply. And now when I right click on the desktop, that is my OpenBox menu system. Now, it's not configured in any way. I don't have any of these programs that are, hard-coded into here. Like OpenOffice is not here. None of this multimedia stuff is here. I would need to take the time and actually configure this menu to my liking. Also give it a better theme. This purple theme doesn't fit. But that is something I would do if I was going to run this. So just playing around with it a little bit. Let's check out system resource usage. So is HTOP installed on the system? So if I open up a terminal, well, I typed top, but really, let's check out HTOP. Oh, for some reason, it's not wanting to. Yeah, HTOP is not here. So sudo pacman-syu. Let's see what kind of updates we have for the system before proceeding. All right, we're having a problem, I guess, syncing to some of the repos. You see, I got some error messages there. For some of the repos, not all of them. So anyway, we have 11 packages that could be upgraded. Should I take the time to upgrade this on camera? I won't. I'll decline the upgrade, but I will sudo pacman-S space HTOP. So to install HTOP, just takes a couple of seconds. HTOP is a very small program. Now run HTOP. All right, let's let this settle down for a second. So CPU usage should be single-digit percentages. Pretty much that's standard when you're not doing anything on your machine. If you see anything, over, 3, 4, 5%, something strange is going on. And once this settles down, it looks like, yeah, using about 12 to 5% of the first CPU, around 3% of the second CPU. Yeah, pretty normal. Again, this is a VM too. The LXQt desktop environment is very, very lightweight. 312 megabytes of the 4 gigs of RAM. So very, very lightweight. And this is a full desktop environment. I mean, we have a panel, systrate, some background services running. You see all this run SV stuff here. This is the Runit init system, and it's got some things running, such as, the network manager is running, syslog is running, some TTY stuff is running, Cronny, I guess that's some kind of cron job. We have cron D, of course. You got a lot of stuff going on in the background. Kill that. Also, since I didn't update the system, but I will go ahead and see what kernel we are on as far as this ISO. 4.18.10, so very recent kernel. So kill this window. All right, so that is Artix LXQt with the Runit init system. So what are my final thoughts with Artix? I've got to be honest, guys. I am actually pleasantly surprised at, again, this is a very quick first install, first impression kind of look, but man, it looks great. The LXQt desktop environment here that they've put together, pretty simple, very minimal. Hardly anything is installed, but I like that. I like picking my own applications to install. But I like what they've done. The applications they've installed, the LXQt desktop environment with the Qt terminal, with PCMan-FM-Qt, the OpenBox window manager, the Runit init system. I don't mind systemd, but I did have some reservations about this distro because when I looked at their website, I'll be honest, this puts me off in a major way. If your defining feature is talking about how much you hate some other piece of software you don't even use, that must mean you don't have a whole lot to talk about your distribution, right? Because I want to hear about the good things Artix is doing, not the bad things you say systemd is doing. So I really expected to not like this Linux distribution at all, if I'm being honest. But you know what? It looks great. It runs great. Super fast, super light. Hardly using any system resources, at least here in VirtualBox. I would probably install this on physical hardware and use it. I gotta be honest. It's everything I love. Light, fast, minimal. Arch-based. I love Arch. So overall, yeah, first install, first impression, yeah, I give this an A. I might actually put it on physical hardware and see how it runs for a few weeks. Before I go, this show was made possible by Ansem, Carlos, David, Leor, and Rob. These guys are the producers of the show. The show is also brought to you by the ladies and gentlemen. You see their names on the screen. They are my Patreon supporters. If you enjoyed this video, please support the channel. Find me over at Patreon. You can search for DistroTube at Patreon. Peace, guys.